One such important agent of impact is represented by our first alumni speaker, who I'm honored to introduce. Robert T Grimm Jr. is the director of the award-winning Do Good Institute, and he is also Levinson Family Chair in Philanthropy and Nonprofit Leadership in the School of Public Policy at the University of Maryland. He is the founder of the university's award-winning Do Good Institute and Maryland's Do Good Campus, which engages students of all majors and colleges in hands-on educational experiences that empower them to make social impact today. Bob had senior appointments in the administrations of both President George W. Bush and President Barack Obama, and he co-led the creation of the Social Innovation Fund in the White House. He served as senior counselor to the CEO and as director of research and policy development at the Corporation for National and Community Service, CNCS, which directs AmeriCorps. Bob earned his master's degree with us and earned his PhD from Indiana University in Bloomington. He taught, conducted research, and served on the board of the school's predecessor, the Center on Philanthropy, and he received the school's Distinguished Alumni Award in 2019. Please help me in welcoming Bob Grimm.
Thank you, Dean Pasek, and the wonderful faculty of the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy. Congratulations, graduates and families, for your perseverance and your resilience to earn your degrees and certificates amidst the pandemic. I'm so excited to be here with you because the Lilly School is a very special place. And if you can believe it, Dr. Paulberg and I took courses together. And for those of you who took courses with Dr. Freeman, I actually had him in one of the first courses I taught. I was then the Center on Philanthropy. Now, if you're asking, how is that possible? How old could I be? The answer is, I started teaching at what became the Lilly School when I was 16. I've also had the great benefit of staying at Dr. Burlingame's house more times than I wanted to count. I've learned so much from the fabulous Dr. Rooney, the Emeritus Professor Linkowski, Dean Temple, and of course, Mr. Payne. My journey to what became the Lilly Family School started growing up in a rural part of Iowa. I live on the East Coast now, and when I say I grew up in a rural part of Iowa, they often think that's an oxymoron. And I've got my wonderful daughter with me here, and I've spent a lot of time trying to convince her how wonderful the Midwest is. And let me say, it can be a challenge on the East Coast. Her Washington, D.C. fourth grade teacher told her that when she wanted to do her research for a state project on Iowa, that she couldn't do it because Iowa is too boring. Now, Mr. Payton and Dr. Burlingame told me that you should have philanthropic heroes, historical ones and real ones. And I named my daughter after my grandmother in Iowa because she's my philanthropic hero. My grandparents grew up in a town of 300 people, all right? In Indiana, we know that's a town, all right? And they had a passion for theater. So they convinced some Iowa State University professors to move to their town and open up a professional theater company nonprofit in that town. And for decades, the only professional theater company in the whole state of Iowa was in their town. And when I was a kid, I got to experience incredible theater, literally surrounded by cornfields. And that experience of seeing what my grandparents' town was able to achieve through philanthropy told me that philanthropy sometimes can do the next to impossible. And that love of philanthropy is what led me to enroll at Indiana University in an educational experience that changed my life. And today, you are all graduating at a pivotal time for the future of philanthropy. Many, volunteers have either decreased or stopped volunteering during the pandemic. Think about it. Many hospitals had to reduce the amount of volunteers to decrease the density. Many schools couldn't allow people to volunteer in them or engage with them as much. Many school groups stopped engaging or participating because of the pandemic. The fact of the matter is, many people kind of reduced their practice of philanthropy. And other nonprofits didn't make it. through the whole pandemic. This spring, the theater that my grandparents and their neighbors launched 50 years ago closed due to COVID. But listen, don't worry, I'm a highly optimistic person, so even if you say, no, listen, don't worry, my finish is very positive. But listen, I mean, did it help hurt a little bit when that happened? For sure. But I think also there are so many signs of philanthropic renewal in 2022. And your graduation is an important part of it. When I had the opportunity to go to the University of Maryland 12 years ago, I had the chance to take my Indiana education and put it in action. And last month we celebrated the 10th anniversary of something called the Do Good Challenge. Now what we did 10 years ago is we convinced the actor Kevin Bacon to do a 1-minute video challenging students on our campus to make the biggest impact they could. And we didn't know if it was going to just collapse or be embarrassed by the results. You could do a fundraising project, a volunteer project, an advocacy project. You could create your own nonprofit or your own venture. Well, the team that won was a group of students who noticed that there's pounds and pounds of food that gets thrown away every night from the campus cafeterias. So for the Do Good Challenge, they recovered 6,000 meals from the campus cafeterias. And they got 2 other college campuses to adopt their approach. So we took those students and we gave them more of the education that I had learned from Indiana. I joined and became their founding board chair, and we formed themselves into a nonprofit called the Food Recovery Network. Over 10 years, the Food Recovery Network, launching also 2 other companies, 2 national companies today, Hungry Harvest and Imperfect Foods, have collectively saved over 170 million pounds of food from going to waste. And at the onset of the pandemic, they had to also go on hiatus with doing food recoveries on campuses. But this spring, a new generation of students took up the Food Recovery Network, and they're doing recoveries and thriving like never before, returning to the kind of generosity and philanthropy that we all need. And the fact that the Food Recovery Network is back, thriving, despite the challenges of the pandemic, that reality makes me believe that there is a pent-up desire to do good, do more good in the world, and what we need is more graduates like all of you who are ready to guide us and how to make an impact and how to take inspiration into impact. And as the newest graduates of the school, I think you are all key to rebuilding philanthropy in ways that's better than ever before. So I want to close by saying I wish you and your families congratulations and my deepest best wishes on your future. And even more, I want to thank you for your commitment to doing good in the world, because I couldn't be prouder to be part with you of the Lilly School family. Thank you.